Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we have the Rhino Rack Track mounted RLTP legs that are designed for the tracks on your 2017 Chevrolet Silverado 2500. We have some Rhino Rack tracks mounted to our camber shell here on our Silverado, and the reason that the owner of this truck picked these tracks is so that he could adjust his crossbars back and forth to accommodate for different accessories. When you have a larger truck like this, you do have to be versatile with where your roof rack faces, and having these legs is very helpful for that because you then keep that versatility, but you also keep that heavy duty weight capacity. If you use our fit guide here at eTrailer and pick a roof rack for your Silverado 2500, you'll find that we have kits available. And these kits include the crossbars, the towers, and then the tracks that are recommended for your truck. In our case here, we did mix and match some things, but we do have these 65-inch long heavy-duty crossbars that are recommended for this system. On the Silverado, if you have it all laid out and all installed where you have an even length on each side, you're gonna have about 11 inches and a 1/4 inch of overhang. Actually, if you discount the end cap, that's going to go down to 10 inches and 3/4 inches of overhang on each side. Now, give or take 1/2 inch because of where you'll have it on the track, but that's a good estimate for how much space you're going to have for use for your different types of cargo. The RLTP legs are going to be your low profile legs that give you 2 inches of height, so paired with the height of the tracks. When you measure from the top of the roof to the bottom of the crossbar, you're going to range from 2 to 2¼ inches of clearance. So very low profile, but still enough clearance for most types of modern accessories and clamps. So if you have a clamp that has a strap that goes around or a claw that clamps to the crossbar, you should be good. If you have a U-bolt and wing nut though, you're probably not going to get enough clearance. These legs are designed to be used directly with the heavy-duty crossbars, which is what we have here. But if you choose to use something else, then take a look at the Vortex adapters so that you can use the Vortex bars that will have a little plate and a different nut to hold that in place. When you use the heavy-duty crossbars though, you do get some extra height for your cargo and your accessories. So when you measure from the roof to the top of the crossbar, that's going to be 5 or 4 inches of height. And that's been pretty good for a lot of different things. Imagine you have skis with extra tall bindings. This is going to give you some good clearance so your bindings don't hit your roof. But if you do find that you need more clearance, then that's when you can look at accessories that give you that extra height. Now, where you mount the crossbar to the towers is going to be these bolts underneath. They're simply a bolt that requires a 5/8 inch wrench. You can just turn that bolt and then it will actually remove a block so you can lift the crossbar out of place. So if you did need to switch things around, you need to adjust to where it sits on your roof rack, then this is going to be a simple adjustment. For extra security as well as versatility, if you did need to adjust the towers back and forth on the tracks, they have these 2 bolts that hold each tower in place. Notice how they require a special security Allen key in order to loosen them. These are going to be the Rhino Rack standard security key though, in case you happen to lose the one that is included with your kit. This makes for an easy adjustment and helps protect your roof rack system. But in all honesty, what I've experienced with the Silverado 2500 is because this truck is so high up off the ground and the roof rack is high up off the ground, it's going to be a large hassle for people anyways in order to take this roof rack and go if they wanted to. With your Silverado 2500, if you have that camper shell on there and you really wanted to maximize your truck and still be able to carry around cargo even on top of your roof, this is the track that I would go. It's very helpful to have these tracks installed to the roof and then to have a honestly low profile tower that I can adjust back and forth. We do not need extra height with this truck, so having something that sits lower but also gives a lot of that weight capacity and capability is very helpful. If there is one thing that I would recommend, it's looking into either getting the 4-pack for the towers or the 6-pack. Having 3 crossbars with all this space might be helpful depending on what you're carrying around. But if you're not ready for that just yet, being able to slide these back and forth will help you get there in the meantime. Well, hopefully this video helped you out. I did install these onto the truck. If you're curious about the installation process, let's take a look at that. So before installing your roof rack towers, you first need to make sure you have the right base for it. So this is gonna fit into your RT or RT style rails. So you can see we already have them installed on our truck. This will create that base and that channel that will allow you to slide your roof rack back and forth to get the best fit on your vehicle. Now that installation is going to be found on the rails page, especially since there's different methods of installing depending on what type of rails you do get. After your tracks are installed, you can then install your crossbar and your towers. A lot of what you're going to need is going to be included with your kit, except for some tools. So I have a 5/8 inch wrench, preferably a ratchet wrench or crescent wrench style. And then I have my tape measure just to make sure everything's lined up to where I need it to be and everything is even. So with all that in place, you are also going to have to bring your crossbar appropriate to your vehicle size. So we're going to get that onto our towers first. There's a rubber piece included with your towers, so go ahead and insert those. They'll be pushed into the top channel. Once that's inserted, you can then flip the tower or the crossbar over and install the tower. If you have heavy duty bars, then you don't need to get any adapter pieces or set that up. You simply loosen that top rectangular plate or block. You're gonna put it into your crossbar and then turn the bolt, which will tighten that block in that channel. Hand tighten to the point where this will not come off of your crossbar, but you'll still be able to slide it back and forth to make adjustments once it's on your roof. Getting this on your roof will be easier if you have a second person to help guide your towers, but the perks to this style is that they have tabs in the towers that will fit into your tracks, and then that will help you hold your spot as you adjust for spacing from crossbar to crossbar, as well as spacing of length of the bar on each side. How far apart you want this depends on your accessories. So a good compromise for a lot of accessories is to put this about 32 inches apart. You'll measure from the front of one crossbar to the front of the other. Slide your towers until it matches that measurement on both sides. Secure the towers with these hex nuts. Now, these are gonna have to slide into your track system. On one side of the tracks, there is gonna be an opening that you can just fit these into. On the other side, there might not be an opening, but you can slide the end cap out to make space for these nuts. Lifting up on the crossbar, we're then going to slide these nuts in the general direction of where they need to go. You're going to want to fit on the outside of those tabs, and if in doubt, further away is better than closer inside. Now we're also going to place these wedges. So the direction you should have this is a tall part of the wedge facing the inside of the vehicle and the tapered end facing out. This allows for a level surface of your tower, even if you have a sloped or curved roof. With this being such a low profile design, you're gonna need those wedges to balance things out. Finally, secure your towers with your bolts. So you're gonna have your bolt, then you're gonna have your split washer, and then your flat washer. These are gonna come in from the top of the tower. Go ahead and fit that through the wedge, and then thread it onto that nut underneath. If you have everything lined up, you should have that threaded in no time. You may need to wobble your tower around a little bit in order to catch that thread. Once both sides are threaded, go ahead and double check your measurements for crossbar spread. before you tighten down using the included Rhino Rack security tool. Tighten down until that split washer flattens out on both sides. With the towers in place, you can then adjust your crossbar length. Now, this will depend on your vehicle and the spacing, but make sure the space is even on both sides. I like to measure from the tower to the end of the crossbar. Once it's there, you can then secure your crossbar using your 5/8 inch wrench. After I tighten down all the crossbars in the towers, I like to give them a good shake test just to double check that everything is secure. But other than that, that's it for the install process. You're now ready to load up your roof rack system with accessories and cargo and hit the road. And this right here was a look at our Rhino Rack Track mounted RLTP towers on our 2017 Chevrolet Silverado 2500.